The Reverso is undeniably Jaeger-LeCoultre's most iconic watch. When people think of JLC, it's often the Reverso collection that first comes to mind. Its fame so dominant that it tends to eclipse many of the brand's other exceptional timepieces. In fact, the Reverso doesn't just overshadow other JLC models. In many ways, it overshadows the brand itself, making it unsurprising that many may not be familiar with the Master Control and Master Control Ultra-Thin collections. Yet in my opinion, these lines are hidden gems. Once discovered, they reveal the true depth and versatility of JLC as a watchmaker, proving there's far more to the brand than its legendary reversible timepiece. With that in mind, if I had to choose the collection that resonates most with my personal tastes and style, it would undoubtedly be the Master Control Ultra-Thin lineup. Its refined elegance, understated sophistication, and technical mastery perfectly captures what I love in a watch. So in this video, I'm excited to share with you 4 standout models from this collection that I was fortunate enough to get my hands on. All the watches you'll see here are in stainless steel, no precious metals. That's simply because I prefer focusing on timepieces I can genuinely see myself wearing. And for me, precious metals just don't hold that same appeal. That said, if gold is more your style, every model I'll be showcasing today is also available in a pink gold finish. And while we're on the subject of exceptional craftsmanship, I have to mention that JLC offers some truly spectacular complications within this collection. If you're drawn to haute horology, I'd highly recommend exploring the Tourbillon and Tourbillon Moon models as well. They're absolute masterpieces. I won't be covering those in this video, but definitely check them out. The models I'll be showcasing today are the JLC Master Control Ultra-Thin Date, reference Q1238420, an elegantly simple timepiece featuring a clean date complication. Next will be the Reserve de Marche, reference Q1378421, which adds a power reserve indicator, alongside subdials for the date and running seconds. Third, we have the Ultra-Thin Moon Phase, reference Q1368430, with its enchanting moon phase display. And finally, perhaps my personal favorite, the Perpetual Calendar, reference Q130842J, a true masterpiece of horological engineering. But please note that this model is JLC's previous version of this complication within the Ultra-Thin collection, as the AD didn't have the newer reference Q114842J at the store. Despite their varying complications, these watches share a remarkably consistent wrist presence. Each features a 39mm case size with a 46mm lug-to-lug measurement, ensuring a balanced and wearable profile. The only noticeable difference lies in thickness, dictated by their respective movements. The date is the slimmest at just 7.8mm, while the moon phase is the most substantial at 9.3mm. All the models within the Master Control Ultra-Thin lineup offer 50 meters of water resistance. Hardly dive-worthy, but then again, I don't recommend anyone subject these refined dress pieces to any aquatic adventures. First, we have the Master Control Ultra-Thin Date, reference Q1238420, powered by JLC's Caliber 899. This elegant workhorse features central hours, minutes, and seconds, with the date nicely positioned at the 6 o'clock, a classic layout executed with perfect balance. While this movement packs 219 components and beats at a steady 4 Hz, it's worth noting that as part of JLC's earlier generation calibers, it delivers what is by today's standards a low 38-hour power reserve. Like all the models I'm showcasing today, this watch features a silver dial with a sunray finish, timeless, versatile, and dynamic when the light hits it from different angles. One detail to watch out for if you're considering pre-owned is that one key difference between the older and newer Master Control Ultra-Thin models is that earlier generation watches had shorter, thicker hour markers, while newer iterations like this model feature elongated rhodium-plated indices, which I think add a touch of extra refinement. So just keep that in mind when cross-shopping between the two. Price just under $10,000 new, this is the quintessential choice for those who appreciate understated luxury, a watch that speaks quietly but carries the weight of JLC's horological mastery. On the secondary market, I've seen these trade for as low as $5,500. And the previous reference, Q1288420, can be found for as low as $4,200, which is absolutely crazy. If the Master Control ultra-thin date feels a bit too minimalist and sterile for your taste, and you prefer dial with more complexity, the next model in the lineup, the Reserve de Marche, reference Q1378421, delivers exactly that. Powered by the caliber 938, this watch features a silicone escapement for enhanced precision, along with central hours and minutes, small seconds subdial, pointer date display, and a power reserve indicator. With 262 components, a 4 Hz beat rate, and an impressive 70-hour power reserve, this movement is a technical standout. The significant gain in power reserve has been achieved by redesigning the main barrel and replacing some components with silicone for smoother energy transmission, and without adding size to the caliber. Like all the watches in this collection, it's impeccably finished with Côte de Genève, a 22-karat gold rotor, and heat blued screws, which one can appreciate through the transparent case back. The dial itself is where this model truly shines, boasting a distinctive architecture that sets it apart from many dress watches in the market today. It features the elongated reworked newer hour markers, half-polished and half-satin finished Dauphine hands, and an applied Jaeger-LeCoultre logo. Remarkably, despite the added complications, the Reserve de Marche is priced at $10,000, the same as the ultra-thin date. For those who appreciate a more intricate dial without sacrificing JLC's signature refinement, this is an exceptional choice. On the used market, this reference is still holding strong at $8,500, while the previous generation is trading around $5,000, which is a 50% discount on the retail model. The third, a flagship in JLC's Master Control collection, is the ultra-thin Moonphase, reference Q1368430, powered by their impressive caliber 925. This elegant complication combines a clean central 3-hand layout with a poetic Moonphase display, complemented by a subtle pointer date at 6 o'clock, all arranged with perfect symmetry. Technical highlights include 245 precisely engineered components, 4 Hz beat rate for smooth sweeping seconds, and an improved 70-hour power reserve thanks to a new escapement and modified pallets that reduce friction and consume less energy. The aesthetic details are where this watch truly sings. A heat-blued seconds hand that adds just the right pop of color against the sunray silver dial, and the show-stopping blue enamel Moonphase disc, whose celestial motifs catch the light with mesmerizing effect. One thing worth noting when comparing new and pre-owned models, aside from the slim elongated hour markers, a clear giveaway of the newer design, the ultra-thin Moonphase model also features a more intricate Starry Sky Moonphase disc. It's now color-matched to the case for a more cohesive look, with a silver moon and stars on the stainless steel version, and gold accents on the rose gold model. A subtle yet impressive touch of attention to detail. And let me tell you, when the light shines on those stars and moon, it just pops right out of the dial. Priced at $12,000, this represents one of the most compelling values in high-end Moonphase watches. A perfect balance of JLC's technical mastery and design sophistication. If you're shopping pre-owned, I've seen the current generation of this watch go for as low as $7,000, while the previous generation can be found starting around $5,000. Tremendous value for such a stunning timepiece from JLC. Finally, we come to what I consider the crown jewel of this collection, the Master Control Ultra-Thin Perpetual Calendar, reference Q1308422J. As mentioned previously, this is last gen's model and not the newer 114842. One way to distinguish them is by looking at the Moonphase disc. On this model, the display is fairly simple, featuring just the moon and a few stars in a golden hue. In contrast, the latest release boasts a much more detailed and sublime Moonphase disc, elevating the overall design. This might be a little hard for you guys to see on camera, but here's a side-by-side shot of the two watches with the different Moonphase subdial. This watch is powered by the impressive caliber 868, which features the central hours, minutes, and seconds, a Moonphase display at 12 o'clock, 3 subdials for day, date, and month, and a year aperture discreetly placed between 7 and 8 o'clock. And you see that small aperture sitting just above the access point? That's the security zone indicator, or danger zone indicator. It tells you when it's safe to adjust the calendar on the watch, which on JLC watches is normally during the early hours of the day. The caliber 868 features unidirectional automatic winding and ceramic bearings for efficiency, a free-sprung balance for very precise regulation, 330 components, a 4 Hz beat rate, and 70 hours power reserve, which is just remarkable for a perpetual calendar. As you likely know, the Perpetual Calendar module in this watch was initially developed by Kurt Klaus of IWC, a sister brand to JLC within the broader Richemont group. However, it's important to note that the caliber in the Master Control Ultra Thin was entirely developed, produced, and assembled in-house by Jaeger-LeCoultre. In fact, the caliber 868 is significantly thinner than any calendar movement produced by IWC. Jaeger-LeCoultre has made a remarkable effort to slim down the movement, ensuring it fits seamlessly into the ultra-thin design. The concave bezel does make these watches look like it's a tad bigger than 39mm. But the lugs are short and thin with a little bevel on the side, and the bottom part of the case housing the movement is much smaller, so you can't see it when you actually have the watch on. So on wrist, these watches wear beautifully. The dial is silver with polished and faceted dart-style hour indices with a silver dimpled minute track. The dial has that perpetual calendar layout that gives you the day, the date, the month, the moon phase, the year, the decade, the century, and the millennium. Despite the complexity, the dial layout is very balanced. Maybe the only thing I'd add is a leap year indicator, but that's a minor quibble for such an otherwise flawless piece. Instead of the leap year indicator, this model features that 4-digit year aperture. However, with this complication, it's important to be cautious when setting the date, because once you move forward, you can't go backwards, so extra care is needed when adjusting the calendar on this piece. This isn't just a watch. It's a lifelong companion for those who appreciate mechanical artistry. It's a grail-worthy perpetual calendar, and frankly, one I'm seriously tempted to add to my collection. In a previous video, I talked about my potential purchases for 2025, and I mentioned the JLC Master Control Ultra Thin Moon Phase model as one of the options. But after spending some time with this perpetual calendar, I'm finding it hard to settle for the moon phase. I was quoted $24,000 for this watch, which is double the price of the ultra-thin moon phase. And right now, I'm really struggling to justify that price tag. It's a significant leap and one that doesn't quite fit into my budget at the moment. But of course, I'm being a bit greedy. What I actually want is the newer model perpetual calendar, reference Q114842J, with that special moon disc. The retail on that one is a hefty $28,000. So I've been considering going the pre-owned route. The older 130842 starts around $15,000, and the 114842 is priced at about $23,000, which is still a pretty significant chunk of change. Do you think the Master Control Ultra Thin Perpetual Calendar is worth more than double the price of the other models in this lineup? Let me know what you think in the comments and what you'd do in my shoes. As you can see, there is not much to dislike about any of these watches. All the watches here hit all the right notes as far as I'm concerned, and they wear beautifully on the wrist. You just can't go wrong with any of the watches here. JLC has been on my list of watches to get for quite some time now, and for good reason. Known as the watchmaker's watchmaker, JLC's legacy includes supplying movement to some of Switzerland's most prestigious brands. And as someone who deeply values mechanical artistry, this pedigree naturally drew me in. But technical prowess alone isn't enough. A great watch must also captivate the eye, and JLC's designs deliver. Their aesthetic is timeless, sharp yet understated, elegant yet purposeful. The perfect harmony of their dials and cases demonstrates a mastery of proportion that few brands achieve. What truly resonates with me, though, is their quiet confidence. Their watches are technical masterpieces that don't shout for attention. They command it through refinement alone. In a world of ostentatious luxury, JLC's restrained excellence is exactly why I keep coming back. Okay, that's all I have for you today, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which JLC model speaks to you the most? Drop your favorite in the comments below. Your feedback and passion are what inspire me to create more watch content. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing for more. I wish you the best in your watch collecting journey, and I'll see you in the next one.